Okay, mobility with Chesty / questions with Chesty. It came up this week. Like, what is the purpose of standing on one leg? And then also, you know, sometimes we just hold a static lunge for, 60 seconds with your right foot forward and then 60 seconds with your left foot forward. I guess my question is, like, why?
Why do we do this stuff? Yeah. And I think it's a great question, and touching on what we were talking about just before this, these are inherently isometric contractions. So everything in the body is essentially, well, not everything, but we should probably get everything going here, is organized and contracted. But there isn't any change of shape at a joint. So what I can do is generate a lot of tension into an area I need you to be stable in. And if I'm going to start to build motion there, that means I'm going to move through that space. I need to make sure that I have at least some stability at each one of those points through that space. Otherwise, we're likely going to have a change in control, right, which can change the speed of a movement. So you think of something like a lunge. If you really suck at a position of that lunge, your body is going to want to find a workaround, or it's going to move a lot quicker through that area. So the idea of holding any position, whether it be on one leg, in a lunge, in a squat, is the idea to build some positional stability and generate a lot of tension, which we typically wouldn't be able to do going through that motion because it's too complex. There's too many things going on. You're moving through that entire space. So the idea is, hey, if I can get you to just set up in one spot and go, show me you can control and just hold this one position, contract and feel strong, then we can start to layer in some motion in there. It can also be used as a really good corrective tool of sorts if you suck in that position. So if you know, hey, the bottom of my squat isn't that great, well, maybe we can use some pause squats. And now you're holding that position. And that layers out to everything else, from lunging to standing on one leg. How the hell are you supposed to do a pistol squat if you can't even stand on one leg, right? The other thing is, how do you expect to be dynamic and controlled and precise on the field of maybe your sport if you can't switch over from one side versus the other and end up falling on your ass? You look at something like soccer, where you have to plant with one foot, kick with the other, or something like hockey is a great example of skating. You don't have 2 feet on the ground the entire time. So the idea is, whether it's 1 foot, 2 foot, 4 foot, you need to be able to maximally contract and generate enough tension to create control with the body. Then we can sprinkle in some motion.